Yo, so I'm going to be talking about keeping the heart rate at 60% of its maximum. It's the best way to be losing weight. And now, what is more important than this 60%? Calorie deficit as number one, gym frequency number two, and number three, what you're actually doing in the gym. The argument is that long, slow duration and keeping the heart rate at 60% of its maximum is the best way to lose fat, and yeah, in a way it is, but this is mainly for bodybuilders and elite level bodybuilders at that, and one of the reasons why it's good for them is why it's bad for the general population, because there's very little muscle involvement. So when they're doing their incline walking on the treadmill, they're looking to burn calories with little muscle involvement, because obviously they save them for their actual workouts. That's bad for you because you want as much muscle involvement as you can. What is more important than this 60%? Calorie deficit is your number one, so you're not going to burn fat unless you're creating that calorie deficit either by doing more exercise or eating less. So where do you start with that calorie deficit? Email me, I'll send you a few questions we can work out. We've got a calorie calculator, is a good start. There's no one that can correctly 100% identify the number of calories that you should be on. It's trial and error, so see how it's going for a couple of weeks, and then we can look at increasing if it's too hard to adhere to the diet, or create a little bit more deficit if we're not. Another more important factor to that is your gym frequency. So how many times you're going to the gym, because if you imagine if you're only going to go to the gym once a week, once every 2 weeks, then it doesn't really matter if you're doing 60% or not. It's not really enough. You want to be getting into the gym 4 times per week, and with that it leads on to our third point of what you're actually doing in the gym is more important than keeping to that heart rate. So realistically, you're better off doing weight training, resistance training, whether that's body weight, whether it's using your machines, whether it's using free weights. Doesn't matter too much as long as you're getting good muscle involvement. So basically the saying that muscles are built in the gym, fat is lost in the kitchen is correct. Muscles, just getting them worked in the gym and then creating the fat loss in the kitchen by cutting down on the calories. So is 60% really the best for fat loss? And no, calorie deficit as number one, gym frequency number two, and number three, what you're actually doing in the gym. Cheers!